Hey everyone, and welcome to Haste Kitchen Collaboration Series. So, once a month for the next 12 months, we've got one person coming on the channel who's absolutely ahead of their game within their industry. First up, we've got Alex from strangerscoffee, who's going to show you how to make the perfect coffee, but at home. Now, I've mentioned on social media for the last couple of months about people who are going to be coming on the channel. Now, the whole point of starting this is we want to feature people that are absolute specialists in the field. So today I'm joined by Alex from strangerscoffee.
Hey everyone, thanks
now, can you just give me a little rundown of what you do?
strangerscoffee started in 2009. I set it up with my brother Sam. We got a passion for the coffee. We wanted to improve the quality of that coffee, so we thought the only way to do that is by sourcing green coffee ourselves and roasting ourselves. So we've got a couple of shops in Norwich where we roast coffee in one, and we've got a cafe in another where we serve the coffee from seed to cup ready.
Tell me a little bit what we're going to be doing today.
I'm going to show you how to make a great cup of coffee at home using home gear. No seriously expensive stuff here today. The way we're going to do this, we're going to start with espresso, then we're going to move on to milk, we're going to partner the two up, we're going to have a lush cup of coffee at the end. Start with some decent coffee. You know, I deal with specialty coffee, okay? That's coffee which has been graded before I even touched it.
So what's this here today?
So today I've just brought along with me some coffee as it comes. At this stage, the coffee's got no flavour. It's the roasting process that's going to activate its flavour. The coffee bean is the seed in the middle of that cherry.
Right.
Well, this is the fruit that's been dried, and then we use this actually as a tea. That's one thing. We're going to talk about coffee. We want to make a good coffee on your home gear.
Now, it's really important today to say that I've got a Sage machine here that we're using. We're only going to be using really one half of that machine. It would usually have a wand. It would usually have your, what's this called?
A portable filter.
So that's all we're going to focus on today.
Now, we've made a coffee a little while ago and I've left that puck in. Once you put the coffee in the head and you've tamped it, which I'll show you in a minute, it's going to form quite a tight little grouping of coffee grounds.
Right.
We describe that as a puck.
Oh, look at that.
Little puck of coffee. But what we've also got in, if you look inside your group handle,
Clean.
You've got a few little bits of coffee left in there.
Not
okay?
clean.
It's not clean enough for me. If you're making coffee at home, you want to get rid of all of that out. It needs to be dry, it needs to be clean. We call this a porter filter.
Right, okay, so it's nice and hot.
Yeah, I want that to be hot. I don't want it to be cold. It's all about consistency. I would just put it onto the machine and leave it there whilst it's warming up. If you haven't got your own grinder, buy yourself espresso ground coffee. What
most people will probably be used, they'll probably just go and buy a bag of ground, but they want to be able to make some pretty good coffee at home.
Absolutely, and as long as you keep that ground coffee in a sealed container away from sunlight and out of the air, it's going to be fine. Don't put it in the fridge either. I'll ground the coffee in, and the next thing I'm doing is just smoothing it over. I do it because that way you can see
it's perfectly level, there's no
level
mess.
Filled,
Right.
And that's my volume. We're going to grab our tamper, okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to squash that coffee. We're going to compact those grounds together, so that when the water pushes through it, it's pushing through like a bed of coffee. Nice and flat, nice and smooth. I've got nearly a centimetre gap between the coffee and the screen. So where you're going to put the porter filter, we want to extract a little bit of water.
What's that, to warm it up then?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. So it's going to clear a little bit of the water that's in the machine away.
Right.
And that's going to bring a more consistent temperature out of the boiler. If we get a cup ready, straight into the machine. And now as soon as you put the porter filter in, you want to turn the machine on, okay? Get the water coming through. You see how we've got a few seconds before the coffee comes out?
Yeah. Why is that? Is that the pressure building?
It's just building up. So that little gap between the coffee and the machine, we want to be extracting that in 20 to 35 seconds. The things that I'm looking for in the crema, I want it to be rich and thick and kind of a reddish brown colour as it's exiting your machine. This is the basis for most of the drinks that we're making in the cafe off of the espresso machine, okay? If you like an Americano, you're gonna get a cup of hot water and you're gonna pour that over the top. I know you're going dairy free at the moment, so we're gonna use a bit of oat milk. We're gonna turn this into a beautiful flat white for you. The reason I use oat milk is because it doesn't detract from the coffee's flavour. I find using something like an almond milk, it tends to make the coffee taste more bitter than it needs to be. The idea is, and this is the same for when we're using dairy milk as well, we're going to add air into this milk to raise the volume by about a third. And whilst we're adding the air, we're going to have the milk spinning around in the jug, and we call that texturing or stretching the milk. When it comes to milk, it's really important to look at temperature. You might like it a little bit hotter. I like to serve my textured milk at around 55 degrees. And you can see here that it's really looking thick and unctuous.
That's the bit I struggle with.
Okay.
Getting that consistency. I usually blow it out too much or not enough. So when I do the pour, I do the little piece on top and then suddenly the foam just lumps on top.
To encourage the foam out of the jug, towards the end to create the pattern.
Yeah.
I'm coming in much closer.
Yeah.
I'm lifting up the bottom of the jug so it encourages a faster flow of milk. Giving a little wiggle that encourages the foam into the cup. As soon as you start creating a white pattern, you can create anything.
So that is pretty epic, considering this is from a piece from a home bitter kit. That
Thanks.
looks absolutely awesome. Look, if you do recreate any of these, hashtag me at Haste Kitchen as always. And if you comment on this video with any recreations, Alex is actually going to be answering some of the questions next week. So ask any questions you want and he'll be answering. Hopefully you enjoyed this series, guys. I'll see you soon. Cheers, and Alex, take care.
Thanks, Ian.